Hello everyone, Link the Duelist here, back with a second video on a deck profile of Icejades. I've had Icejades for about a year now, and I've really been enjoying them, so I figured I'd share them on here. So with that out of the way, getting straight into the deck profile. First off, 3 Icejade Greenie. That is your spell and trap search. Mostly spell, because I do not use the Icejade traps. And she sets up a line of defense. She can special summon out a Icejade monster, and not only that, negate or stop her destruction for once per turn. Then we have Icejade Ranagrini at 3. Icejade Ranagrini is basically your synchro starter. You get her out by, you can either special summon her, but if you do that, you don't get her token, at least if you special summon her from the grave or something. But if you special summon her through her effect, which basically discard a water or Icejade card, spell summon her and you get a token, and then that gets you out a level 3 token, level 7 monster, level 10 beast. There you go. Up next, we have 3 Icejade Tremora. She lets you actually you can send her from the hand or the hand of the graveyard is supposed to summon out a Icejade monster. Sorry, 1 water monster, and when she's in the graveyard, you can banish her to spell summon an Icejade monster from your hand to the graveyard or graveyard. So when she's in the graveyard, she gets you spell summon if the certain conditions met. Then we have 2 Icejade Cosmic Lore, my favorite in the main deck. She is very good defense. You can spell summon her out if you control a field spell. And any monster that attacks her or any Icejade monster on the field loses 1,000 attack while she's in the field. Also, when certain conditions are met, she can make it so your opponent can only use their monster's card effects that turn they're summoned. Up next, we have Icejade Creation. This one basically lets you equip 2 certain any monster and bounce them, bounce opponent's monsters back to their hand. And this one, they equip it. Basically, your monster gains attack and defense based on how many monsters are banished. Yeah, each banished monster. Next, we have 3 Abyss Sharks. It can be special summoned whenever you have a water monster on the field. And when it's special summoned, you can search a level 3, 4, or 5 fish monster. Usually I'd go with Crystal Shark. But next up we have Dream Shark. When it's in the graveyard, it protects you from effect damage, but you spell summon it. And I believe it's banished after that. Also banished when it leaves the field. But in the first time it would be destroyed a battle, it is not. And once per turn, if you control no monsters or all monsters are water, I can spell summon it to the field. So it's good one of. You could run two if you really wanted. Then we have Crystal Shark. This card can be treated as a level 3, 4, or 5, just like Abyss Shark. And you can get some good synchro water XYZs out with them. And if this card's in the graveyard, you can special summon it. But it target a monster and it loses attack. One of your monsters. And then you can only summon XYZ monsters from the extra deck that turn. Up next, we have Gamma Seal. Self-explanatory. Every deck can use a little kaiju, I say. Then we have the hand traps of choice, Ash Blossom. And that is it for the monsters. On to the spells. First up, we have 3 Icejade Cradle. It lets you add a Icejade monster from your deck to your hand. That's your main searcher. Only downside is it's got to be a different name from the monsters you have on the field. Up next, we have 3 Icejade Cradles. This is your field spell for like getting Claws and McClure out. And when it's activated, you can add a Icejade monster that has 1500 or less attack from your graveyard to your hand. When a monster is special summoned to the field, except during the damage step, you can target a monster or water monster on your field, make its attack 0, and lower your opponent's attack, all your opponent's monsters' attack by that much attack lost. Then we have Icejade Manifestation 2 of. If you control a water monster, or your opponent has a monster on their field or in the graveyard, you can search a Icejade monster or monster. Yeah, you can search an Icejade monster from your deck, either send it to the graveyard or special summon it. Then 2 Icejade Curse. You can play this at 3. I played it 2 because I've got other tech choices. Basically, when it's on the field, and Cradle's on the field, monsters your opponent controls cannot activate their effects outside of the turn they were summoned. And if a Icejade battles your opponent's monster, you can make them take damage equal to, I believe, to the original attack of the monster. So, if I'm mistaken, if your monster goes down, they take damage equal to that monster. And so forth. Or if their monster goes down, they take damage to that. Next up, Foolish Burial, self-explanatory. One Called By. One Raigeki. One Harpy's Feather Duster. And then a personal tech of mine, Spellbound. All face-up monsters your opponent currently controls cannot be tributed or used as material for fusion, synchro, XYZ, or link summons until the end of this turn. So, if it's their turn, you can basically shut off their entire turn if they rely on extra deck. Or tributes. Free turn, there you go. Then, okay, wait. Oh, that's it for the spells. Next is the traps. First up, we have 3 impermanents, 2 ice barriers. You can play this at 3. You can also play Foolish Burial Goods at 2 or 3 or 1. I play it at 1 because I have a few personal techs and I didn't have the room. But this card is basically good in and out of the graveyard. If it's set, you can activate it, lower your opponent's monster to attack to 0, negate its effects, and stop it from changing the field. If it's in the graveyard, you can banish it and send a water monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then you can add a water monster from your graveyard to your hand. Then we have 1 full armored XYZ for the full armored package. Then we have Quaking Mirror Force and Wall Disruption. This has came in clutch more often than it probably should, but I like playing generic staples, so they're in there. It is a 45 card deck. I don't play a lot of 40 card decks, but you did see the cards you can take out if necessary, if you do prefer the 40 cards. Up next, we have the extra deck. First, we have Egyptian God Slime. This can be brought out through Cradle's effect on Cosmic Lore. And it's a good 3000 beat stick that can protect your other cards. Then, we have Icejade Gamir Agrini. I don't know if I said that right. But it's your negate, it's your protection. It can banish. And it can bring itself back if something was banished. Or one of your monsters was banished, I believe. We have Sword Soul Sovereign, because why wouldn't we run this in an Icejade deck? Good for banishes. Then we have number 4, Stealth Kragen. You can sub out one of the personal texts of mine if you don't want to run those for a goes in match for a good lockdown, if you would like. Nash Knight to go into your bigger plays. Again, also made by the Shark package. This number 101 Silent Horror Arc, used for some good, I guess you could take your opponent's monsters and then go into something bigger. CXYZ Nash Knight. Well, Nash Knight, yeah. This is one of your bigger monsters, but it can still go into an even bigger monster. Number C101, Silent Horror Dark. This is one of your bigger monsters you would go into. It's I think it's voted out right now by the full armored package, but you can still make it. Then we got full armored Crystal Zero Lancer. Another really good staple to have in this deck, especially with the Shark package, because you can make her real easy and make her real big, and she can negate. Then we have XYZ Armor Torpedo, XYZ Armor Fortress, and full armor Dark Knight Lancer for the full armor package. If you don't know the that strat by now, I can make a video about it, but it's pretty common in today's format. Then we got a Marine Cess Coil Enemy. This card is surprisingly came up more often than I thought it would. Basically, you can special summon out a level or a water monster with 1500 attack or less from your graveyard to a zone this card points to. And last but not least, we have World Sea Dragon Zealantis. I think we all know how this card works. And that is it for the extra deck. If you guys want a combo video, I can give you one. Let me know down in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Really helps, especially now that I'm new to this. Thank you, and Link the Duelist out.